Hello everyone. Today, we're going to create a React-based What is my IP address type app together, which will list all the important information related to the IP addresses of visitors to our website. You'll be surprised at how fast and simple it is to create such an application. If you're ready, let's get started. First, let's create a new React app. Once done, navigate to the app folder using the cdip app command and start it with npm start. Now that our app is up and running, we can start coding. Let's create the necessary folders and files for this. Inside the src folder, we'll need a pages and a components folder. Inside the pages folder, create an IP folder. Inside it, create IP.js and IP.css files. With this done, let's create the framework for IP.js to display the word IP for now. Remember to save your changes every time. Next, let's modify app.js to display IP.js. Delete the entire content of app. Then, import IP and include it in the return statement of app. Let's see if it works. It works, great. For IP queries, we'll use a third-party REST API. You can find the link to the API in the video description. If you haven't registered on Rapid API yet, do that first. Once done, subscribe to the free plan of the User IP Data REST API. Then go back to the Endpoints section. Choose JavaScript and then Axios. Click on Copy Code. Go back to your code editor and install Axios for API communication using the npm axios command. Now, let's create an asynchronous function and insert the previously copied API code. Move the part that imports Axios to the top of the code. Once done, create a use effect and call the function we just declared within it. Save and check in your browser if the necessary IP data appears in the console. It seems to be working. Let's go back to our code. Create a use state to store the IP data received from the API as an object. First, import use state, then declare it. With this done, modify your code so that when data arrives, it doesn't appear in the console but rather in our state. Now, let's go to the Components folder and create a datablock folder. Inside it, create datablock.js and datablock.css. Open datablock.js. The IP-related data will appear in blocks like this. Let's create the component to expect two values as props: data key and data value. Use object destructuring to extract them for cleaner code. For now, let the component return a React fragment. Go back to IP.js and import your data block. Then, create a variable to store a list of data blocks created from the IP data. To do this, use the map function on the object stored in your state. The datablock component should receive both the key and value as props for each data item. Set it up so that until the IP data state receives the IP data, it gets an empty object. This prevents errors. With this done, let's display the list of data blocks. Place your code in a React fragment for now and put the data block list within a div. We'll soon use Bootstrap to create a responsive app with minimal coding. Now, go back to datablock.js and write just enough code to test if the data is being displayed. Let's see what appears in the application. You might have more data displayed as the API provides more information since the video was recorded. All that's left is to finalize the layout and style of our app. Make sure you're in the IP app folder. Install React Bootstrap with this command. Then, go to the index.js file and import the required CSS. This is necessary for Bootstrap to work correctly in our app. Save and return to IP.js to start writing our app's framework with Bootstrap. If you're not familiar with Bootstrap, take your time to work with it. It's worth learning, as it's a sought-after skill for creating responsive designs quickly and easily. First, import the container, row, and call from React Bootstrap. Then, restructure your code using these components. If I'm going too fast, feel free to pause the video to copy the code. Once done, import IP.css. Go to the h1 tag containing the IP text and adjust it so the visitor's IP address appears at the top, above the data blocks. Now, go to the datablock.js file. Import row and call from React Bootstrap here as well. Then, restructure your code using these components. Import datablock CSS as well. We need an additional inner call so that the displayed blocks don't touch. Once you're done, write just enough CSS for datablock and IP to see if Bootstrap is providing the desired structure for our app. Go to your browser and check the application. We're making good progress. Only a few finishing touches remain. Go to datablock.js and adjust it so that the country flag appears as an image, not a link. Also, write the CSS code for the country flag to ensure it's not too large. It's looking pretty good now. Return to datablock.js and add a class name to this column. Then, go to datablock CSS and set the properties for this column. The arrangement of data values is good now. Let's now adjust the appearance of data keys since we haven't done anything with them yet. Go to datablock.js and adjust the code as shown, making data keys start with capital letters and including spaces between lowercase and uppercase letters. Rename this inner call to data key call and wrap it with another call so it doesn't overlap the data value column. Go to datablock CSS and write the CSS for data key call. Set the same background for the data block inner call as well. Now, go to IP.js and add a class name to the call containing our h1. Then, go to IPCSS and write the style for our headline. Open index CSS and add 50 pixels padding to both the top and bottom. Then, set the app's font color to white. Use important to override Bootstrap's color. Let's see how our page looks now. As you can see, only the background is left. Let's set the background in the HTML. For now, I'll use a link to an image that you can find in the video description. Actually, you can provide any image link or even download one to the SRC folder and link it from there. Let's adjust the background size to cover. Next, go down to the body. Make the background transparent so it doesn't cover the image we just set. Then apply a backdrop filter with a blur of 20 pixels. Add important to the background as well. Now, let's take a look at our app. It seems quite good, but I see that the country borders aren't displaying nicely. Let's quickly fix this. To do this, go back to datablock.js and write code to format the array content of the country borders key into comma-separated text. Finally, head over to datablock CSS and add 5 pixels of padding around the text placed within data value. Alright, let's see now. It's looking good, and as you can see, we're all done. I hope you were able to follow the steps and enjoyed creating the app. For more content like this and similar, feel free to follow. Thanks for being here. Happy coding ahead. Goodbye.